Hey guys and gals, we are back in the 1920s. We're going to continue in Module 25 on the online textbook today. I've broken up the 1920s into a few different categories. Yesterday was politics, and today is going to be the changes in society that are going on, particularly with minority groups like African Americans, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Today's lesson is encouraging and uplifting and exciting, but there are also some depressing parts as well, so it's kind of a mix. And then tomorrow, you'll be learning about the fun stuff, the culture, music, movies, radio, fashion, stuff like that. So I'm going to show you where to go for today. Today's lesson is very simple. You're just going to open the student ebook for Module 25, and you're actually going to go back to the same section you were on yesterday. So if you click on Contents, again, you are going to Lesson 2. Once you're under that heading, you want to click on Minority Rights. I'm going to click there, and I'm going to get rid of my contents. This is where you'll start reading about something called the Great Migration, and there's a great map that shows an illustration of what the Great Migration was, so that's helpful. When you go past there, you get to racial tensions. As you know from the last chapter, which was World War I, African Americans particularly were serving in pretty big numbers during the war, and they come back from fighting the war, and they're going to start to try to assimilate into white American culture and society. It doesn't really go over very well in many places, and so this is the sort of depressing part of today's lesson, but it is so important for all of us to learn it and understand it so we can understand where we are today. So please read that paragraph, and then please watch this video. It's about 4 minutes long, and then just keep scrolling down. You can keep reading past the video. We're going to get some more details about what's going on in the African American community in the 1920s. I highlighted a word here because I'm not sure that we've ever talked about a definition of this word. If we did and I forget, I apologize, but I do want to point that out because this word is used throughout the lesson, and I want to make sure you know what it means. So I've highlighted here, it's lynching. I typed up a definition. It says, to lynch means to put to death without legal permission, and it's usually by hanging. So when you see that word, that's a very violent word with an extremely negative connotation. So I just wanted to point that out. You can keep going and read about the rise of the Ku Klux Klan. You learned about that in a previous chapter because it was formed during Reconstruction, right after the Civil War. But in the 1920s, there's going to be a huge surge in membership, and you're going to read about why and who they don't like. It's not just African Americans. There are other groups that the KKK does not like. And then we'll just keep going, read about Marcus Garvey. He's a pretty cool character in American history. That's his portrait right there. He always wore these really cool uniforms or costumes, whatever you want to call them. He's from Jamaica, and he was always celebrating his culture. Keep going, you'll read about the Hispanics and what they're trying to do to advance their cause, and also Native Americans there at the end. And that is it, actually. You're only reading this one page about those three groups of people and watching the video, and then you can go to the Check for Understanding, and that's it for today.